Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and we're going to talk storm damage today. I'm here with Chandra and Dave with Aran and Franklin Engineering, and I'm going to show you a video clip real quick because Chandra and I were talking earlier and a little bit with Dave about, Burl came through and we had the wind down here, whether you were on Bolivar or you were down in Surfside or Clear Lake or League City. Chances are you had some shingles that might have folded up depending on where your house is. And I'm going to show you a video real quick because after the storm, the shingles on this didn't look bad. But if you saw what they went through during the storm, you've got some roof damage and why you need to have your roof inspected. And so let's look at this real quick and let me see if I get this right. This is just a short clip, but there you can see shingles folding up, especially on the ridge cap and that. And I'm going to pull all of us back up here now. Hopefully I get it right. Oh, there we go. Let me get rid of this. Dave, you took this video during Burl, and it really doesn't look bad after the fact, does it?
No, most of those shingles went back down. That was in one of the lesser periods of wind. There was actually more than that. I did lose a few shingles during the storm, but the majority of it looked good. And if you would go back up on the roof after the storm, some of those shingles partially adhered back. They weren't the same as they were before, but they were sticking somewhat. So there was some back and forth between Tuya and us. There were some sections that you didn't see in that film, but that actually where the shingles had lifted up, like a section of the shingles, but then it had gone back down. But the nails had pull out. It had pulled the nail from the shingle, and even though it adhered back and was laying back down when the adjuster and everybody got out there, there was still damage.
Yeah, it pulled all the way through. So
yeah,
we nail them down, and then when it lifts like that, if it pulls all the way through,
it may lay down and you not even know it.
It's adhered as a big sheet because those shingles stick to each other. So it'll pull through the nails and then it'll settle back down. So it's like you don't really know that that's happened unless, like Dave said, you actually see it, or in his case.
Right. And I had seen it, and I had told one of our inspectors who went to go look at it about it, and he was able to just, in the section that I was at, just take his fingers and pick it up, and like 4 or 5 shingles were just kind of easily lifting off of that area. So
yeah, and the last thing an inspector wants to, a underwriter or someone for an insurance company is argue with an engineer that's got video.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
They can argue all they want, but when you've got video of it and you can lift it up, it's like, hey, come on, guys.
Yeah, every time it hails at my house, I'm out there videoing so I can see like what size the hail is, what parts of the house it's hitting, and all that stuff. So
one of the things too that they are doing some more research on is after some of these wind events, people are noticing a loss of granulation on their roof. So the granular part that's implanted into the shingle that is when they have these high wind events, that can kind of loosen some of that up. You get a big rainstorm, and so the loss of granulation is something the shingle manufacturers are starting to do some studies on, because you can have a roof that's 10 years old, and if you have all this after a wind event, you have all this loss of granulation on the roof, then that could also be a potential issue for you, a homeowner as well.
What's the other than looking pretty and being able to color your roof? What is the granulation sort of like rebar in concrete? It sort of holds everything together.
No, there's a fiberglass. There's kind of a matting that's in between these layers of basically modified bitumen, asphalt, and but the top part, it just repels water. It looks better. It's kind of like rocks on top of the road.
Right.
It's
kind of your first layer of defense for
Right.
anything big that might hit the roof, or
Okay.
same thing with the hail. Like, if you get some small hail or some small debris from limbs and twigs and stuff hitting the roof, I mean, that's one thing. But if you get, big hailstones or, big debris, yeah, you're going to have impact loads. But it does kind of add that one extra layer of protection between the elements and, your structure.
Yeah.
Also makes it easier to walk on because the
Oh yeah,
Such a
the tar is
slick.
not.
Yeah.
It could be a little slippery.
Yeah.
I know my mom. You're talking about granulation. She's up by Lake Travis, and after one of the storms, she had the insurance people come out, and the inspector said, "You lost such and such percentage of the granulation on your roof, and so we're going to go ahead and replace it." And she's had more roofs replaced by insurance because of hail than any. In fact, she cringes now if they have a hailstorm because she knows, God, I don't want to have to call them for another roof replacement. But that's part of it up there. But I guess when I was talking to Chandra about different things, and we were talking about the X that showed up in the Gulf, I think this week, that dissipated. Even though your shingles aren't sticking up, if you see a little rise, it may be where a nail had pulled through and is
That's
actually
right.
keeping your roof up. And so, make sure you call your insurance company. Make sure, and you can call Aran and Franklin. They can come out and give you an engineered report on what they see on your roof, to give you some backbone or some background and some information for your insurance company. Every little bit helps because we know they don't want to have to replace it unless, it's needed. But as you could see from that video, a lot of those shingles, laid back down. And imagine that on a roof that was in 90-mile-an-hour winds, and the whole roof came up. And with the Texas heat down here, it's really like one big roof after a summer,
Right.
because it all melts together. But then you get another storm and it comes up and starts to tear. That's when you get water intrusion, and that's when you really run into a problem.
Right. Yeah. Once that seal is broken, once the wind uplifts that shingle, that seal is broken. It's never going to go back
right
the way that it was. So at that point, if you do have another wind event, even a 60, 70 mile an hour straight line wind, which we're subject to here on the coast, without a storm, you're going to have issues. It's going to be a problem. So.
Yeah. And certain times of the year, we get it from the south, southwest, southeast, and then other times of the year, the way the winters have been, it's nothing to get a northwest wind, coming in at 30, 40, 50 mile an hour when we get a fronter, like you said, Dave. Some of the straight line winds, when a front comes through or a storm comes through, we saw that over Christmas, with the tornadoes and stuff we had down here and some of the winds we had. And depending on where it's coming from, especially in the summer, if it is a tropical storm, the rotation, you could have a southeast wind or southwest wind if it's hitting down south, or you could actually have a north wind if it hit Port Arthur and is spinning around here, which hopefully we don't have that this year. But
yeah, I mean, that's the thing that people don't understand. They always think, oh, everything's coming from the south, but all these
the rotation
go in a counterclockwise direction, so it's coming kind of around the backside.
Right.
It can hit that back corner, it can hit the other back corner, it can wrap all the way around, hit the front corner, or can hit it head on. So really, every part of your home is vulnerable. You can't just say, oh, I'm only going to really worry about the south side, or it can really be any of it.
Well, and look at Harvey. It hit down in Rockport, Aransas Pass, but then it came up, sort of down I-10 almost is where the flooding and a lot of the wind, rain and stuff was. So, well, y'all, thanks for joining us. And for more information on getting your home inspected with the Strong Home Inspection Program, or if you want to have your roof looked at and really have someone dig into it to see, did you have anything lift? Did you lose the granulation? That's a new word for me. I'll be using granulation. So make sure you give Aran and Franklin a call, whether you're on one side of the bay or the other, Mississippi, Florida, they can get to you. They've got offices all along the upper Texas coast and the Gulf Coast. So y'all, thanks for joining us today. We're going to head on out. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye.
Video equipment is sponsored by Crystal Beach Decor and More, located at 1959 Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas, and Beachy Beatnik Boutique and Jewelry, located at 970 Surfside and Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas. Thank you to these two businesses for being our 2025 video equipment sponsor for Bolivar Live.